So we're going mountain biking today, so we need to have a look at a few safety features of ourselves and the mountain bike first. So we'll look at ourselves first. So big key thing is we have covered-in shoes. And then the other thing is we don't have any kind of like baggy clothes that can get caught up in the chain, so it's good we've all got shorts on today and that kind of stuff. We've obviously put some sunblock on to make sure we haven't got not going to get burnt. Ideally, and of course I forgot them, you'd have some gloves as well. Oh, that's right, yeah, sorry, I just found it. And then also some glasses, my glasses which are down there, just to stop stuff getting in your eyes and that kind of thing. So you need to make sure you're hydrated as well. I'm going to have some snacks and a bit of that kind of stuff to go. And last but not least, the most important thing of course is our helmet. So we've been through fitting it, but you need to make sure that it's nice and tight, so that you can basically go like that without it falling off, and it's sitting nicely on your head. You don't want your neck thing done up too tight, the strap done up too tight. You need to get a couple of fingers under there, but not so loose that it can pull over your chin. So we move over to the bike now, second most important piece. So a couple of safety checks we need to do on here. We need to make sure that the wheels are actually attached. So I've been through most of the bikes, but yeah, just make sure that the locking mechanism's locked on hard, and that the wheels won't come off, so they got locking mechanisms on both of them. While we're down there, we may as well check the tyre pressure. So we need to make sure it's not too tight and not too loose, so we kind of just one in the middle. So if you can kind of just move it with your weight a little bit, that's probably the ideal kind of ideal pressure in there. We move down to the brakes. You need to make sure your brakes are working. Obviously they're pretty important on a mountain bike, so we're just going to do a few little tests to make sure that it is working. And the back one as well, if it skids like that, it's pretty good. Then we kind of have a look at the chain. So run through and just have a look at your chain, make sure there's no kind of rusty bits or bits that look like they shouldn't be there. And just kind of make sure, what I normally do is just give it a turn around, just have a look at the whole chain. So that one looks pretty good. Before we get actually into mountain biking and riding, we kind of have a bit of a ride around here and flick through our gears and just make sure that they're pretty good. You're not jumping or skipping or anything like that. The other thing we can do, most of the bikes that we're going to be using have got it's called lockouts on here, so it can lock the suspension out when you're going up hills. It makes it easier. But for today we want it so that our suspension will work and make our ride a little bit smoother. So just give your suspension a bit of a push down to make sure that that's going and it bounces back nice and quickly. And there's no kind of stuff around the seals there. And that's probably about us before we go. I guess the other thing we should look at is the seat height. So your seat height, you kind of want it just kind of below where your hip is. It is a bit personal preference. Some people do prefer it higher or lower, but on mountain biking you generally want it a little bit lower because you're on kind of the pegs for most of the biking. So yeah, let's go mountain biking. So we've got a few obstacles and a bit of a drop off down here. So I'm just going to kind of talk you through what you need to do when you're coming approaching, going down it, and then afterwards. So when we're approaching this, it's a bit of a turn, so we need to have a little bit of speed up because we're turning. And then probably about 5 meters before the actual turn and the drop off, you probably need to be up on your pegs. So you want your pegs nice and even like that, so that you're not whacking anything if you have them down like that. It's going to be up on our pegs, and when we kind of approach a bit of a turn, we're going to start to put our weight back a little bit towards the back of our tyre, so to kind of distribute that a little bit. And then what's going to happen is we've got a little bit of a drop off there, and then it's going to run out. So your front tyre is going to go over that, and then obviously your rear will follow. So as you're approaching that, you want your weight kind of over the back of your tyre so that it's nice and balanced. It's really easy to get fixated on the actual drop-off, the little drop-off itself, but we need to actually be focusing on what's down further as well. So obviously we're going to have to make a bit of a right-hand turn when we get down there as well. So if we're talking about the kind of how we're going to approach this, what I do is I come nice and wide and then kind of hit straight over that tree trunk and then kind of hang around a little bit. So we've got a bit of a hill to go up, so it's going to talk you through what you need to do gear wise to do that. So approaching the hill, probably when you get to where about I am, you want to be changing down to kind of like middle of the range gears. What we want to do is not load the gearings of the bike up so that it skips or blows it out. So when you get to here, change down to kind of middle of the cog gears, and then as you're heading up there, you want to kind of be sitting down on the bike. And if you do need to change down, then just changing down one gear at a time and waiting until that gear changes down, and then do the next one if you need to. But the big thing is that we don't want to load the bike up, so you want to be sitting down on the bike and just kind of keeping that nice consistent cadence.